All right, let's talk Giants. The day has come where it's finally happened. We've been talking about who's going to get released, and of course the releases have started. Giants release Alec, Ogletree, and Kareem Martin, saving about $13 million in the cap. You know, I wouldn't say that Alec Ogletree was a huge bust. I don't think he was a gigantic disappointment. I think Kareem Martin for sure was a bust and a disappointment. But I think that we were looking for a lot more. Our expectations for Ogletree were a lot higher. And even though his numbers might not reflect it, because you look at his numbers and you think, this is pretty solid. It's like he did miss 3 games each season, which is not a lot, but still, I think, we were looking at him to be an outstanding coverage linebacker. And that was ultimately not really the case. And he just got fucking demolished in the run game. I mean, just could not, he's meeting blockers at like where he stands, So, and then would get blown back. So, not great against the run, good coverage backer who didn't really do that during his time with the Giants. Kareem Martin was just overall a complete bust. Missed pretty much all of last season and didn't really show up in the previous season. Another guy that people think is going to get released, Rhett Ellison, is apparently mulling retirement, and I forget what day this came out, so it's possible he did retire since then. Sorry, I've been busy. So he's mulling retirement after a season-ending concussion. He's due $7 million this upcoming season, and we'd only incur about less than $3 million in dead cap if we decided to move on from him, which I guess if he retires, we also incur that dead cap. So, in my opinion, it was a weird move to bring him in to begin with for the amount of money that we were paying him. I could see if we were paying him less to do that, but like to pay him the amount of money that we did for the role that he was going to take on, it just didn't pay off. And now that we have, I guess they have seen enough out of Caden Smith to say, yeah, you're the real deal. Like you have the blocking abilities and you've shown that you can catch the ball and be a weapon. I guess, Rhett Ellison's time is pretty much donezo unless he restructures. But I don't know that if he's mulling retirement, it's like, I don't think he's really open to that. I thought there was an outside chance that Greg Olson might want to join the Giants, but because I thought he's from Wayne, New Jersey, North Jersey, and you think, okay, North Jersey guy, born and raised, he's either like a Giants or a Jets fan, right? And he's probably not. And I had to guess he's probably like a Cowboys fan. That fuck. So it turns out he was not even considering the Giants, which is kind of like, you think you'd want to come back home? You'd be like, what, 10, 15 minutes from home? Nope. Giants have to decide, and speaking of tight ends, Giants have to decide by May whether to pick up Engram's 5th-year contract option for 2021. Ooh, that is a toughie, because the dude cannot stay on the field, but when he is on the field and he is healthy, he is electric. So it is quite the conundrum. And I think, I remember after the Redskins game, after seeing that video of him like mic'd up behind the scenes, I was like, this guy has got it. And I encouraged and I implored management to sign him to a long-term contract, and then he immediately got hurt. So, to me, it's like, I just don't think he's a tight end. I've said this, and I just think he just move him to a third wide receiver and have him have him match up on people that can't match up with him and exploit those matchups every damn game to the tune of 5 catches a game. And at least a touch every other game. I see him nabbing 80 grabs next year with 8 touchdowns for around 800 yards. And I think if you can get that out of him for the rest of his career as a third wideout, I'll take that to the bank. The Giants are a potential suitor for Tom Brady. Get the F out of here, dude. There's not a shot. All this shit. I mean, Tom Brady has now approached like that NBA this league type level of craziness, where like the top free agents in the NBA, like any and everything that happens, any tweet, any Instagram post, anything on video that they catch, people are reading lips. People are like trying to interpret shit. Like that's where Tom Brady's at right now. He's approached like NBA impending free agent type level hysteria. It's insane. He's going back to the Patriots. I mean, that's like, it's not even a question. I don't even understand how people are entertaining the idea that he's going to the Titans, because he was talking to Vrabel with Edelman at the Syracuse game, and that same game, like there's video of Edelman saying like, he's coming back. And then Tom shaking his head and saying, no, he's not. And it's like, Tom is definitely playing this up because he knows it's going to get clicks and engagements, and his social media team is not dumb. As soon as they like got on social media, it was just like, I'm going to pay someone a very healthy amount of money to make my socials blow the F up. And they've done a phenomenal job, because it's like, even, the fucking Hulu ad or whatever it was for the Super Bowl, it's like they teased the hell out of that and people bought it hook, line, and sinker. And they're doing it every single day, anytime something happens with them. And it's just madness. I'm not buying into it. No way is he going to the Giants. If he goes to the Giants, I mean, name your price, my man. I'll eat my underwear. I'll lick a boot. Like, yeah, the mind is not exactly operating at 100% right now. It's Sunday night, almost 11 o'clock. So, but you name it, I'll do it. No shot he's coming to the Giants. People are saying, well, we have the cap space. And Joe Judge came from the Patriots and he has a good relationship with Brady. It's like, do you really know that he has a good relationship with Brady? And we have the cap space, and like New York is where Tom and Giselle want to be. They've been spotted in New York and they want to relocate here. And it's like, all right, maybe I get that. And it's like, they're not going to go play for the Jets. Although if you want to get back at the Patriots, no better way than to play for the Jets. But no, it's not happening. The Giants are also a potential suitor for Jadeveon Clowney. This one's a little bit not as cut and dry for me. I just don't, I think Carl Banks has been really going in on it on Twitter, like Jadeveon Clowney versus Leonard Williams, saying Leonard Williams is more versatile. Jadeveon Clowney, though, is only 27. I know Leonard Williams is only 26. I don't know. My immediate reaction was no. Like, he's probably going to be too much money. If we when it really comes down to it, the bottom line is he's just too expensive, and he's not going to give you the value for all that money you're giving out. But I mean, they need a pass rusher, and if they're not going to re-sign Marcus Golden, then it's like, where's your pass rush coming from? So I don't know. Clowney says he wants to go back to Seattle, but something about a franchise tag in there. I don't know. Sean Lee said he would definitely consider playing for the Giants. That's a hard pass. I don't know his numbers right off the top of my head, but I do know that Sean Lee is like perpetually the guy who's always getting smoke blown up his ass. People are all about it, hanging off these nuts, and then he gets hurt every friggin' year. No thanks. We don't need old dudes who get hurt. We need youngish, not straight out of college talent that stays on the field and is available and just does their job. Does their job. That's like the Joe Judge way right now. Just do your job, execute. We're not looking for anything flashy. We're not looking for like crazy, outstanding numbers. Just do your job. That's the kind of vibe that I'm getting. Yannick Ngakoue is now seeking about $22 million annually. The franchise tag that the Jaguars can put on him would be $19 million. And he said that he probably wouldn't report until like mid-August or something like that. That's another hard pass. I understand pass rush comes at a premium, but you also don't want to price yourself out of helping other areas of the team. It's just tough. It's tough to justify something like that, where it's like, okay, you sign him 22 mil, and then like he gets the 10 sacks, but like, I don't know. Pass rush is so important, and we just, other than Golden, we just didn't really have it. So it's a lot of money. I mean, we're gonna have like 60 some odd million in cap, and to take more than a third of that for one player, is that one player going to make that much of a difference? I just can't see it, but gotta do something. Dave Gettleman has said he's open for business for the number 4 pick, which is great. But then you read this stat from ESPN: the only time the Giants have traded down in the first round in the common draft era since 1967 was in 2006, when they sent the 25th pick to the Steelers, who picked Santonio Holmes. In return for the 32nd pick, the Giants selected Matthijs Kiwanuka and 2 additional picks in the 3rd and 4th rounds, which they didn't even mention the names, so they couldn't have panned out that well. And if you're going to ask me who won that trade, Santonio Holmes, I mean, that catch in the Super Bowl won the game for them. Kiwanuka, solid player, versatile, played, D tackle, linebacker, but I hear his name and all I can think about is that damn play against the Titans. You know the one I'm talking about, where he had Vince Young in his grips and they let him go and the Titans go down to win the game. So would I rather have had Santonio Holmes? Meh. Jarris Wilkinson was our 3rd round pick, and Barry Cofield was our 4th round pick. So I mean, Barry Cofield was pretty solid, but then our other 4th round pick was Guy Wimper. Yeah, I don't know. So essentially Santonio Holmes versus Kiwanuka and Cofield. Well, Cofield was like our original pick, so I don't know. Not. Would I rather have Santonio Holmes, considering how everything played out with Plex? Yeah, whatever. So he says he's open for business, but he's also kind of couched it with like, oh, there's downsides to trading back. Like if we trade back from 4 to 8, and the 4 guys we want are gone by the time 8 comes around, it's like, yeah, I understand, but what are the odds? Like, you would take that into consideration when trading down or trading back? Like, are we going to lose out on the guys that we want? I mean, that's something you got to, Vontae Mack, no matter what. But to me, it feels like we're going with Isaiah Simmons, and I am completely 1,000% on board with that. I think, he is the like defensive equivalent of Saquon Barkley. I remember before that 2018 draft when Saquon Barkley was at the combine and they put up, I think it was like NFL or some account put up his numbers and said like, this bench press is better than offensive lineman. this 40 is better than a wide receiver. This blah, blah, blah is better than this. Like, he was better than the top people at each position. Different positions that weren't running back position. And I remember seeing that, and when I saw that tweet in 2018, I was like, I was on the fence about Saquon going into that draft, and I was like, do we really need a running back? There's, we could just think about quarterbacks, but like, I think Eli still got it. Like, should we go offensive line? And then I saw that tweet about how he's just like, faster than so-and-so, taller than so-and-so, jumps higher, longer than so-and-so, like top players at their own respective positions, not the running back position. But he has all that in a running back. I was like, yep, sign me up, subscribe. I'm all about Saquon, going in on Saquon. And that same tweet happened with Isaiah Simmons. He's taller than DK Metcalf, heavier than Roquan Smith, faster than Devin Hester, jumps higher than Julio Jones, and more explosive than Alvin Kamara. I mean, I don't know what you need to know beyond that. And I know there are combine superstars. There was a story about how like Terrell Suggs really underwhelmed people at the combine, and then the Ravens still drafted him, and he's going to be a Hall of Famer. So I know the combine's not the be all to end all, but at the same time, those are hard to ignore. And you look at like the draft tracker right now, Chase Young has the top grade with 7.40, which that grade is the equivalent of like, quote unquote, a perennial all-pro. It's kind of hard to swallow. But then you have Isaiah Simmons is the fourth highest graded overall prospect in the draft. 7.08, which is a perennial all-pro as well. So, I mean, as much as I know that we need offensive linemen, ideally, and this probably won't happen, but it would be nice to trade back 2 spots, pick up another first-round pick possibly. I don't know how that's possible, but still get Simmons at like 6, and then like draft a top offensive lineman in the top of the second round or the first round. That would be sweet, but I don't know. There's been talks about like who do you want? With like there's Mekhi Becton from Louisville. There's Andrew Thomas, I guess, from Georgia, and there's Tristan Wirfs from Iowa. And apparently the Giants fell in love with Tristan Wirfs. So I am all for drafting an offensive lineman high that has like a grade that, even a grade of like, I'm looking at the grades here. We're looking at the top offensive line prospects. You got Jedrick WIlls, I think that says Wills from Bama is number 1 at 6.89. Then you have Mekhi Becton at 6.49, Andrew Thomas at 6.48, and Tristan Wirfs at 6.46. The grading is weird on this, by the way. I'm reading it now. It's like 8 is the perfect prospect, which that's funny. 7.3 to 7.5 is perennial all-pro. 7.0 to 7.1 is Pro Bowl talent. 6.7 to 6.8 is year 1 quality starter. 6.5 is boom or bust prospect. And then 6.3 to 6.4 is will be starter within the first 2 seasons. Like, what? Why is 6.5 boom or bust prospect? That's interesting. So I'd be good with any of those 3 dudes. Although Becton is a beast, 6'7", 368, but apparently didn't test well on the bench. So, but I'm having visions of Isaiah Simmons in a Giants jersey just flying around and fucking shit up, and I love it. And if Gettleman's a defense guy, this is his chance. This is going to be huge offseason for him to really bolster the defense through the draft and through free agency. And it almost feels like a repeat of 2016, where we did go heavy on the defensive side of the ball in free agency, and it paid off dividends that year to go to the playoffs. Which, you know, that's what people are talking about now is like a lot of people coming to Gettleman's defense now and saying like, well, you know, we got pissed at him for jettisoning Damon Harrison and Olivier Vernon. But Snacks just got released by the Lions, and the Browns just released Olivier Vernon. So, you know, I think it was that offseason was kind of like Jerry Reese pushing all his chips in the middle of the table, a la Jim Fossil, and saying like, here's my last hurrah. This is my last ditch effort. And it paid off year one, did not year two. So hopefully Gettleman has taken that into account and is saying to himself, okay, maybe we don't like break the bank on 3 dudes. Maybe we spread it out and get like 5 guys that will give us more than 1 year of quality play. All right. So that's a giant mess. Episode 29. Thank you so much for listening and watching. You can find me on all the socials. I don't do anything on them. I'm just there, creeping, lurking. Real Cinch on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Facebook.com/giantmess. Hit me up on the hotline, 862-BIT-1986. 862-BIT-1986. And catch you later. Adios, muchachos.